cut to probably our favorite part together, the battle scene.
The battle scene.
With Thanos.
The battle scene of Thanos. So Thanos brings his entire army. Now, he brings his army. He brings the villains from the first Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
The name right now. But they all come to Earth. And I was intrigued because no one knew where the battle was going to take place. And it's funny because in that whole scene...
Yeah.
All you see in the background is just like black smoke or like gray smoke. Like you couldn't even, if you weren't paying attention, you probably would think that they're on some random ass planet, but they're not. They're on Earth. And
I think that the site they're fighting on was the Avengers headquarters.
It had to be right there. Really well done scene. There was a lot of wide angle camera shots and a ton of close-ups for those close-up battle scenes, but that visually was fantastic. Yeah. But there's one problem that I had with that scene.
What was it?
I wish there was a ton of theories, ton of guesses, ton of people saying it. I wish that Hulk would have had a rematch with Thanos. Because the last movie in Infinity War, that was such a thing that's how the movie opened up.
Yeah.
With Hulk getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
And then you didn't really see him throughout the whole movie. So this film, I thought, okay, maybe they're going to have somewhat of a rematch or some kind of confrontation. And I don't know, that was kind of missing.
You know what, though? Even during the battle, you don't see Hulk.
You don't really see him that much.
You see everyone else. You see Scarlet Witch. You see Spider-Man. You see Doctor Strange. Now, speaking of Doctor Strange, in the battle scene, when Thanos is sitting there, it's Thor and Iron Man. And who else was there?
Captain America and a couple other people.
And it was just them fighting Thanos. But
Thanos and his whole army.
Right. And then all of a sudden it pans over. You see the portal open up. You see it.
Yeah.
It spins up and
a ton of portals.
Out comes Doctor Strange. Out comes Black Panther and his whole Wakandan army.
That was cool.
That was awesome
because it slowed down and all you see is him walking through and. It was an awesome entry.
Yeah.
Talk about the one scene when Doctor Strange was holding up the water and things were starting to go awry. It was not in their favor.
So if you remember in Infinity War, Iron Man asked Doctor Strange in
how many scenarios?
Yeah.
It was like 14 million.
14 million.
But there was one
scenario where they win and. Doctor Strange was holding back this giant wall of water.
Yeah.
And it pans over to him, and as he's holding the water back, he just does this.
It's like a real creep, slow
number one,
and he's pointing at Tony, and I think Tony knew at
that point.
That's why Doctor Strange sacrificed himself by giving him the time stones because he knew. Yeah. That Tony had to be the one.
Yeah.
Tony had to be the one.
Yep.
And I mean, Tony is kind of like the godfather of this whole universe. So there's probably a ton of stuff we're missing in these spoilers just because it's a 3-hour film.
It's a 3-hour,
and there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And my mind is so
full
back and forth.
I know.
It's unbelievable. Some of the touching moments that I thought was great was when Tony Stark, in the middle of the battle, I think, saw Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
And Tony almost cried with joy because, just to see him in there.
Yeah, and Peter, he came over to Iron Man, was just talking to him.
And I'm not going to lie, I did tear up.
Listen, this movie had me tearing up a lot of times. I don't care.
How about Captain America when when they go back in time, he saw, I think her name was Peggy Carter. Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that, but the lady that he was interested in way back when, that was a real big moment. And it's funny because I was waiting for them to talk or something, but you didn't see that. Yeah. So I was like, oh no, don't go talk to her. But she walks out the room and he's standing there, and then next shot he's in the lobby or the next scene they're leaving.
And I think for me, the most emotional part of the movie for me was when Tony Stark ran into his father.
Oh man,
back in 1970
that was cool.
On the military base.
Yeah, and Tony wasn't born yet.
Yeah, Tony wasn't born yet, but his dad, you can see he knew.
Yeah,
he's I know this man, but
and Tony said that his name was Howard.
Yeah,
and that's his father's
name.
Now, curious about that is when so they're talking and they're walking out, and Tony walks his dad out to the car, and his dad really is confused because he's like, that guy looks familiar, and then he talks says something to his driver, and his driver's name is Jarvis. And that's the system. That's the brain of Tony Stark's. You know, when everything starts, that's Jarvis. So that was really cool to see, and it was just, there were so many, like we keep saying, there were so many things that just tied together, and that you wondered to see, and you wanted to see pan out and work out, and just, they did such a great job at doing that, where even though there was tons of characters, you were so involved in every single one of them, and it just worked. Everything just gelled. And
in the battle, you see Iron Man fighting, and then you see his wife fighting.
Yeah, Pepper Potts comes out of nowhere
in a suit,
and
just destroying people
in that blue Iron Man suit that, like, Tony Stark's daughter was. She was wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
And that, you know, she comes in there and she was whipping ass. She was back and forth.
I was like,
it was awesome. You know, and then Quill comes back. The Guardians come back. You know, except Gamora. She unfortunately is also one of the people that in the Infinity War was sacrificed by Thanos, so she did not return.
And that is why, okay, I get it now. That is why at the end, when they were on the ship leaving, Quill was searching for her.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't really there.
Yeah. Okay. But then then Gamora is there, but it's the older one, and that's why she need him in the groin, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So humor-wise, a good amount. You know, this movie was definitely more focused on the serious notes.
Yeah.
But Thor was such a comic relief throughout the whole.
He was so,
and a good steady pace throughout the entire film. It just worked because it was so funny to see him with a big beard, long hair again, and then a big beard gut. It was
and a little backstory on why Thor has the beard gut and long hair.
Oh yeah.
Because so they go to the garden to get the time stones and kill Thanos.
Yeah.
Or the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
He kills Thanos.
Yep.
He then just disappears into obscurity. Gone. Disappears. And you can tell he's really dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just living, drinking beer, just being lazy. And the whole movie, you're right. He had a beer gut the whole movie.
And he was cracking jokes, and it was funny.
It was funny.
Like, people were poking fun at him. Now, how about when he saw his mother? Again, when they go back in time.
Yeah.
Thor says some more words to his mother, and that was such a...
I didn't think...
Man, it was so touch. Oh my gosh.
Guys, I don't know what you guys talk about. I didn't think at first his mom would understand. Like,
she just kind of knew. She just kind of
she knew, yeah.
Understood what was going on, and maybe she was more. She said that she was more wise. Yeah. So it was fantastic. So the battle scene goes on, and everything's going haywire. And I gotta say, Thanos. I'll give credit to Thanos right now. Thanos was kicking butt when it was Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. He was whipping it.
He was.
Boom, 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 boom. He had the giant blade sword, I guess that was his weapon before he had the Infinity Gauntlet.
When he threw that into the quantum realm.
Into the entry point.
The back of the van.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh no.
I was expecting something crazy to happen. Like something was going to blow up, someone's going to get stuck somewhere.
But so Thanos does eventually get his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And Thanos also tries to snap.
Yeah.
And when what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Because
oh my God.
It pans over, boom. Tony Stark has the Infinity Stones.
We'll get to that one second. What about, so what about this? Who is worthy? Captain America becomes worthy, and he's carrying Thor's hammer.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's carrying Thor's hammer.
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, you're right.
And he's whipping it, electricity, and he's using it, boom, boom, boom,
Everybody
boom.
in the theater, when I was losing their minds at that part. I was like, oh, no.
I was holding back a scream because I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
You're right, though. We got that was awesome.
It was incredible.
He was worthy.
It was crazy to see him and Thor with Stormbreaker and just going nuts about it. It was insane. It was insane.
Marvel done just put me in a whole ball of emotions, man, with this movie.
Now, let's get to the end of this.
Yes.
So, Tony Stark, they're fighting Thanos, and Thanos gets the Infinity like you said.
He gets the gauntlet.
And he's going in for a snap. And they're fighting. Captain Marvel comes in. Things are just flying all over the place. We didn't touch too much on her, but she popped up in the beginning of the film and then pops up kind of like the middle of the third act. She comes in for that big battle scene.
Mind you, though, Captain Marvel came in to like oh, there's something on radar. Yeah. And she just destroyed that whole ship.
She just comes in and just wham!
Cuts the whole ship.
Nothing.
Destroys it.
Yeah, the whole thing just blows up. It's crazy. That was a great scene. That was a great ride.
Good job, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it was great. He gets the gauntlet.
You
know, and he's about to snap, and they're fighting. And
at that point, I was like, could you imagine if he snapped and it actually worked?
Yeah, and then that would be a terrible way to end the movie.
Terrible way.
That would be a terrible way.
But you
imagine that? It's like, snap, everyone's dead.
Gone.
End credits.
Again.
And then we're all pissed off.
People will be at the door.
I'd be pissed off. I'd be begging for my money back.
But he gets the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah. He snaps his fingers. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Shot pans over. And then you see Iron Man.
Yeah.
And he has all the stones.
I guess he had that planned in his back pocket because he made a special Iron Man gauntlet that could control this power stone, the
Infinity Stones.
The Infinity Stones, and that's what was used. Like, it wasn't like the one from Infinity War. It was something that Tony made.
He made, and he snaps. Boom.
Yeah.
And then right then and there, Thanos' army.
He says, I am Iron Man, and he snaps.
I am Iron Man.
That was awesome.
And what's crazy is when he snaps, it goes white, comes back on. Thanos' army's getting vaporized. They're all turning to dust.
Everyone's turning to dust.
But Thanos takes a seat.
Yeah, he like sits down. He has like a moment of like
he's looking at Tony Stark.
Realization that like it's over.
It's over.
He lost.
He lost.
And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah. And he's sitting there while everyone around him is just getting destroyed. His army,
You know, that's one thing that I kind of had a problem with. Was that when he sat there, everybody was kind of around him.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that he would have said something. Or some kind of one line. Or like ending notes. Or like some kind of phrase. Or somebody would have said something to him. Like something. But then it was peaceful to see him.
He was standing like this.
Realize.
And you're right though.
But I kind of would have liked something said. You know, because movies, you have so many moments just to say.
And you know what?
Lines.
He has something to say, and he'll talk. And
I thought that would have been kind of cool.
Thanos will say something all the time. He's always saying some sort of profound thing or something.
Yeah,
he's always
something
talking.
Would have been
he's always running his mouth.
Some kind of ending note, or maybe a warning to something else,
right?
Or
but when
but
when he knows that he lost and he's sitting there and his whole army is turning to dust and ash, he just sits there and and then he just gone. He just. You're right though. He didn't say anything.
Nothing.
He didn't do anything.
So this film, you know, with everything going on, this is. It's really sad to see everything go. You know, Tony Stark at the end is the one that had to do this. He had to fix it. He was the only one that was going to be able to fix it, and it was really sad to see him go. He dies at the end, and they have a funeral, and it's so and everyone comes back. So
yeah, it's very emotional. You see
Nick Fury.
And
everyone's just standing there.
Everyone's standing there.
There's so many things that we probably didn't even touch on in this video, but there's so many things. It was great to see everything tied together. It was great to see everything come to peace with Iron Man, Captain America. You know, he goes back in time and spends his life with Peggy, and then he comes back to the current timeline, and he's an old man. You know, he lived his life.
But he had a good life.
And that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
So this movie was fantastic, and we highly, highly, highly recommend it. I mean,
guys,
and granted, we hope you stay for this video because we love this video so much. We love this movie so much. It was really a great time.
Guys, go see this.
Yeah, go see
movie. Enjoy it. Take it all in.
Yeah.
Marvel. Good job on this film. You guys rocked it.
Yeah.
And we're sad that Avengers is ending, but we're excited that you have a lot of other stuff lined up for
We're
us.
excited to see what's next.
Yeah, so
make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, and comment down
down
below,
below, please.
Let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next video.